Okay. So, this is my spoiler-filled review of Rings. Meaning everything, including the ending, up to my memory. Like, I may forget details here and there, but for the most part, everything, including the ending, will be revealed here. This is kind of a deeper analysis of the movie. So, if you want the spoiler-free version, it is down in the description below. I'll post the links on my blog. So, yeah, so there's, if you want spoiler-free. So, let's begin. So, it opens with kind of, I guess, this camera. Let's leave it there. Okay, so, it opens with a throwback, I guess, to the original, except this time they're on a plane, and it's this guy looking over, and it's like, so have you heard about this video that kills you a week after you watch it? And he's like, I don't know, you're crazy, you're a loony nut. I was like, well, I saw it, and I'm gonna die, in like, 5 minutes from now, because it's like, I'm gonna die at 7 p.m. tonight, and it's 6:55, so he thinks I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and that'll take away my chance of dying. And then as he goes, the girl next to him goes, that guy with and she goes, I saw the video too. So she goes and she bangs on the door, and it's like, you saw the video, right? Did you make a copy of it? No. So, and then all the screens on the plane, all the in-flight movie screens, get Samara on them, and she crawls out of the screen and brings it on the plane and goes down. So, that was a nice little opening throwback to the original, I thought. And then I thought, well, now what are they going to do? Because VHS tapes don't really exist anymore. How are they going to make this in a modern day setting? And then the next scene it showed a garage sale. And of course, it's a collector of vintage things that, of course, that's why. Okay, so it's a vintage collector getting VHS tapes and VCR tapes. Alright, so, yeah, because the VCR belongs to the guy at the beginning of the movie. He died in the plane crash. So this is like a year later, and they're selling off all this stuff, and this guy picks it up, and the tape is still in the VCR, and it says, watch me on it, right? So, he thinks, okay, so he watches the tape, and then he gets the phone call. 7 days, right? Right? So he looks at the window, and then there's the opening title, Rings. Like, oh, great opening, right? So then it cuts to this girl and her boyfriend. They're, like, the boyfriend's leaving for college, and he's like, okay, whatever. And the girl's like, it's like, don't date any other guys while I'm out here. She's like, don't worry, I won't. And then, so they start Skyping, and he can't really Skype with her because his friends keep taking him out to parties and stuff. So that night she has a dream that Samara attacks her, which I thought that didn't make sense, because she hasn't watched the tape yet. So how would she know about Samara? Like, how would this be in her mind? It didn't really make much sense to me there. I thought that was a bit ahead of the curve, story-wise. It confused me a lot, so a lot of the stuff in the plot was confusing. I had to go online afterwards and look at them and go, now it makes sense, right? Because there's a lot that goes on in the movie. So she decides that she's gonna go to the college where her boyfriend is, and so she packs up and she goes, and she invades her boyfriend's class, and she finds that the teacher, one of his professors, has set up, not a cult necessarily, but like a fan club, I guess is the right word, for Samara, for the tape, right, for the cursed tape. So they've each got, like, he's shown it to all the students, and they each have like a little countdown clock, like how long they have until they're gonna die, like up on the walls. Like, this guy has like 3 days left, this girl has 25 minutes left, and that girl goes up and goes, yeah, I thought that the video was not real, and then all this crazy stuff has started happening to me, because that's what happens, right, when you watch the tape, is it psychologically breaks it down and makes you slowly go crazy. So he goes, well, you need to find someone else to show it to. In the movie, they refer to as a tail, right? A tail to show it to. So, of course, she takes the girl with her, and she starts setting it up, and then she gets a text from her boyfriend, because her boyfriend's seeing the girl while she's out. Oh no, right? And she's like, wait, she's showing you the tape, isn't she? Don't watch it, right? She's showing the video, don't watch it. So it's a digital file on a computer, just like, okay, I'm going to show it to you, and then you're going to have to make the copy. Luckily, she doesn't watch it. But, like, right as the girl's about to die, like, right as it hits her death number, right, exactly 7 days to the minute, right, I think it was, like, at 7:06 or something, Samara comes out of the TV, and so she tries unplugging the TV, that doesn't work. She tries throwing the computer out the window. That doesn't work. No matter what, she can't escape. So Samara ends up killing her. Right? So then the girl opens the door, and she finds that the other girl is dead. So then her boyfriend comes over, and he's like, oh, good, you're still alive. Oh, good. So it's like, I watched the video, too. It's like, well, then use me as your tail. No, I'm not going to use you as my tail. I don't want you to die. I'm going to find someone else. But then she starts questioning, like, the morals of it. Like, why would you pass on the death sentence to someone else? But, yeah, why would you? Personally, if I was stupid enough to watch the video, I kind of deserve what I get. I'm not going to pass it on to someone else. I'm not going to move that death sentence on someone else. If I'm stupid enough to watch it, because it's already kind of creepy anyway, if I'm not stupid enough to click out of it after, like, the first few seconds, I deserve what I get, right? Because it's already, if you watch the tape, like, and it's the same tape from the original, more or less. It's like the well and the girl, like, braiding her hair and the finger on the nail, all that creepy stuff, right? So if you don't click out of that because you're squeamish, you kind of deserve it. So he's like, well, I'm just, like, just let me die. Like, I'm not going to do that. So that night while the boyfriend's asleep, she watches it, and then he realizes, uh-oh. So the teacher calls him and goes, I found someone for you. And he goes, I don't need the tail anymore. Click. So then, come to find out, someone posted the picture of the girl who died earlier online. So they think the teacher did it, which, yeah, he kind of did. He showed the video to his students. He kind of deserves to go to jail for that. Like, he's... No, excuse me for a minute. I apologize for that. That was not classy. Apologize for that kind of blooper. That was not classy at all. I'm so sorry. It's just congestion. I really should have gone off camera earlier instead of, grossing all of you people out. I'm so sorry. And that's how I lost all my subscribers. Okay, I'm just kidding. Alright, okay. So, I apologize for that, sincerely. Okay, so the teacher, he finds out he's gonna get arrested. So, he leaves, and they go, and so the teacher kind of goes into hiding later. We find out he goes into hiding later. So, they try to figure out where, like, how the girl is gonna figure it out. So, they analyze the video. It turns out, so she makes the copy of the video. And for some reason, it won't copy. They try it several times, it doesn't copy. Turns out, her file is bigger than the original file. Well, how can that be? So they analyze it frame by frame. There's extra footage in her tape that is not with any of the others, because Samara has chosen her, because she self-sacrificed herself. So Samara thought that was very noble. So she chose her to not be her next victim, but something later that comes at the end. So when she picks up the phone and gets the 7 days thing, she gets little dots on the back of her hand. And we find out later at the end, so... But it gradually gets worse. So they investigate all the symbols that they find in the video. Oh, this church over here, this right over here. And conveniently enough, the place where that church is only like a 3-hour drive away. Because of course it is. Horror movies have to have these weird coincidences, right? So they drive and they find that Samara's grave is under the church. So she breaks in and she starts crawling. And then she sees, carved in the wall on the side, she sees like help. And she sees her name. I forget what her name is, the character's name, but she sees her name carved into the wall. And she's like, oh, crud. And then she gets chains appear around her arm, and she gets dragged down into the well. And then, wouldn't you know it? No, that didn't really happen. It was Samara messing with her mind, because, again, he was psychologically crazy as this goes. So, they keep investigating, and turns out that the teacher was Samara's father. Because of course he was, right? That was where it fell short. I was like, this is a little too much of a coincidence here. This is a little contrived now. So this is getting silly. I enjoyed the movie very much though. So I found out the teacher was Samara's father. So the girl kills him, and then and then they find Samara's body. Like, okay, so the only way to free Samara's soul is to burn her body. So they burn the skeleton, and they think, okay, we've won. This is the end of her curse. And I thought, okay, that's where it's going to end. Nope, there's one more scene. So the next day, she sees that the symbol in her hand has kind of gotten worse. So her boyfriend puts it into the Braille translator. And as he's doing that, you can see that the girl, like, her skin's coming off her hand, so she peels it off. There's Samara's hand. What? And then she starts coughing, and she pulls out Samara's hair out of her mouth. It's very disturbing. So she looks at her mouth, she looks in the mirror. She is now Samara. Turns out the symbol in her hand means rebirth. So the reason Samara didn't kill her, she chose her to continue on her curse. So they ended it in a way that can continue the story if they so choose, but I'd be fine if it ended here. Because it also, as she's turning into Samara, her file gets sent out on its own. Her boyfriend tries to stop it as it's sending itself out to everyone in her address book, and then she gets all these emails en masse. What's this creepy video? Why'd you send me this? Whoa, this is freaky, right? Stuff like that. So her boyfriend can't stop it, so Samara's curse is continued, and it's got several more victims. So she is now Samara, which I thought was a very good twist. Like, whoa, that was very well written. Very, very good twist. So that was kind of my spoiler analysis. Now, like I said, the problems that I had with the movie were the plot was a little convoluted. Like I said, I'm not really giving you very much the whole plot. I'm sure there's a lot that I'm missing because I forgot it. Because there's a lot that goes on. And a lot of characters, their motivations don't really make a whole lot of sense. And like I said, all these contrived little coincidences that are just happening to further the plot along. But at the end of the day, what was the movie's goal? The movie's goal was to entertain. Was I entertained? Yes. Was I checking my watch the whole movie? No. I was never bored with the movie once. I very much enjoyed it. I liked the first Ring, but I'd say this one's actually better. Because the first one is a little bit outdated, and man does it show. It's still a very good movie, but I prefer this one. So I'd say watch the original, The Ring, but skip The Ring 2, because The Ring 2 is no longer canon, for good reason. This is kind of a soft reboot sort of sequel. The Ring 2 is no longer canon for good reason, because everyone hated it. So the Samara's origin story in this one is completely different from The Ring 2, because they've done away with that. That didn't happen. That doesn't exist. Just The Ring and then Rings. So, yeah, I thought it was a very good movie, and I enjoyed that it didn't rely too much on jump scares. There were a couple of loud noises, like the silence and then, shing, right, like that. There were a couple of those moments, but they were few and far between. I enjoyed how a lot of the scary stuff came from the psychological horror aspect of it, and constantly figuring out, what's real, what's not. It's messing with you just as much as it's messing with the main character. I like horror movies that do that. I don't like it when they're, slasher, blood and gore, because if it needs to have blood and gore to be scary, it's not scary. It's just gross. So, I wouldn't necessarily call it gore, I'd call it, gross out stuff, but it's tastefully done. It's not, it makes you kind of wince a little bit, but it doesn't make you want to vomit. So, Friday the 13th, Halloween, and that stuff, that's an example of doing it wrong. This is an example of doing it right. You do it few and far between, and you do it tastefully. So, I very much enjoyed Rings. I give it about a B, an 8 out of 10. I'd say check it out if you're a fan of the original. Do you need to watch the original to enjoy it? No. They know that most of the target audience, teenagers, right, they were probably either not even alive when the movie came out, they were just bored when it came out, or they were little when it came out. So they know that their target audience has not seen the original, and they probably haven't. And they show that, because you don't need to have watched the original to enjoy this one, and I very much enjoyed that. It helps to have watched the original so that you can kind of understand what's at stake if you've seen the original. Especially if you've seen the original, I do say do watch the original, because I take back what I said earlier. Yes, watch the original, because the very last line of the movie is taken directly from the first one, and it's a nice little throwback. It's little girl Samara in the psych ward. It's my curse will never go away, no matter how much you try to stop it, right? So if you've seen the movie, it's a nice little nugget. So if you haven't, you're just was that Samara, right? I mean, obviously it was, but if you've seen the original, it's a nice little nugget of nostalgia, or throwback, or whatever you want to call it. Yes, I enjoyed Rings. I'd say go see it. There's not any other movies coming out until... Oh, I'm sorry. There's no movies coming out to theaters until March 10th with Kong Skull Island. But I am renting, I've got Netflix just shipped them out today, BFG and Pete's Dragon, the remake. Because those were not in theaters very long where I lived, so I didn't get a chance to see them. So I'm finally getting to see them. I'll write my reviews and give my little analyses on YouTube once I see them. So yeah, so like I said, go see Rings. I very much enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. So I will see you next time.